Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Sharon Van Etten. Sharon, thank you so much for coming. Sit down.
Okay,
And we'll have a conversation.
let's do this.
So, I'm going to get right into it. And by the way, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Really appreciate you all having us.
It's really fun to be here. And let me put that down because that will look bad in the video. Right? But I have papers. So, Sharon, for the first time, the new album is Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory. And for the first time, you have worked with a band to create an album. In the past, you have been a solo singer-songwriter, making your albums, and then getting together with a band. This time, you did something different. And I want you to tell us about it. And you called it a sonic trust fall. What is that?
Well, it's when you don't know what's going to happen and you close your eyes and you lean into the sonic palette that, we all created together. I tend to write by myself and I tend to be a loner and use my own emotional process to get the feelings out. But with this band, we were rehearsing for the last record. We've been going about this all wrong to figure out how to take this pandemic record that we recorded from afar and how to present it in the live setting. And while figuring out what to do for instrumentation to interpret it for the live show, we went through all the songs and we had extra time at the end of the week. And I asked the band if we could just jam because I was really tired of hearing myself and I was very inspired by all of the sounds that we were making. And we did something I never thought I would do, and we jammed.
So you had the players that you had assembled from different places, and you're like, okay, we've done all this other stuff. Now we're going to jam. What happened?
In about an hour, we wrote 2 songs, and I was so compelled that after we went on the road for that record, I booked time again at this same studio in the desert where we had kind of a band camp to reconnect as people. And in a week, we were very prolific and wrote 14 songs from the ground up together.
Really? Okay, so something I hear on the new album, and it's not just Sharon Van Etten, it's Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory. And actually, before I get into the sound of the record, tell us about the Attachment Theory.
I mean, I always have to have a tongue-in-cheek kind of joke in my song titles, album names, somewhere in the packaging. And I do have an interest in psychology. It's still something I'm just chipping away at as I get older. But as a band, you create these dynamics together on the road and you become a family. You become each other's chosen family. You leave your friends and your family behind and you trust each other and you need each other to be able to keep having a touring existence. It's a really wonderful but complicated life. And so I wanted to also let my fans know that it's me, but it's something different as well. It's as my partner would say, an elevated Sharon. It's still an extension of who I am and my songwriting, but it's also something different and a departure for me as a creative person.
Well, it's also a sonic departure for you because we're hearing synths, electronics in a way we haven't. I love the percussion on the album. Did the collective songwriting group bring that and the musicians bring that, or was that something you thought about ahead of time?
It was something that everybody brought to the table. And as I think the last 2 records before this, Remind Me Tomorrow, and We've Been Going About This All Wrong, I felt like I was getting there sonically and hinting at all of these influences, but it was the first time that we had the instruments in the same room because we had been off the road. It was coming out of the pandemic, and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by all this gear that used to be in storage.
So set the scene. You have everything in the same room. Like, you're making the record, and sometimes we get a little in the weeds with, it's like too inside baseball on how the record gets made. But I did read about this, and when you all made this, you did something unconventional.
I wanted to make sure, and I spoke with the producer, Marta Soloni, about this, was that I wanted it to feel like a band record. We wrote the songs from the ground up together. We were in the round connecting with each other as a live band, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose that in the recording process. We wrote all the songs. Then once we had a collection of songs that we felt like were cohesive and made sense together, we took those songs to a studio in London where Marta Soloni lives, and there's a beautiful live room called The Church that is the Eurythmic studio, and we're able to set up in the round so we could connect with each other and perform the songs that way.
And the control desk was there open too, right?
Yes, Marta was an extension of the band, so she was in the round with us with her board.
It's really wonderful. It's a really different way of making an album. And so when we last talked, Sharon, probably 6 weeks ago, you were getting ready to embark on a tour with this band with whom you made the album. So we were talking about anticipating that. So now you've been on the road with the band and performing the album. What has it been like to perform with the exact group you wrote and recorded the record with?
Well, the fun news is...
Yes, tell us.
It feels like when we wrote it and when we recorded it, because we get to be together, and not necessarily in the round, but we're all very close together. We have the same instrumentation. So it's only in the performance and in the chemistry of the show itself that changes every night. But and also the sounds of the synthesizers, which are analog, which tend to change every day. But we get to connect as a band in a live setting, and instead of the round, we're in a little bit more of a crescent moon here, but it's really been rejuvenating to get to connect on stage in this way in a live setting and feel like we're jamming all over again.
I love this. And not to backtrack, but my sense is, and from researching and reading about your work, is that you kind of came from possibly a darker place to get to the place where you made the record with the group. Is that fair?
Very fair, yes. And so learning how to, from a teenager going into my 20s and learning what songwriting meant for me, it stemmed from a place of therapy and almost like talk therapy to myself. And I would sing Stream of Consciously when I was feeling something deeply but didn't have the words for it. And I would just hit record and get the feelings out, not knowing what it was I was writing. And I would listen back days, weeks, sometimes months later, just to have a sense of what it was I was going through. And so it's more reflective analysis that I do for myself, and I'm not certified at all, but
You're certified for yourself. I promise.
Yes, I know myself very well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm learning about myself still, but so it started from that place. And as I've learned to let go and let other people in and help me and acknowledge that people only want the best thing for me, it's taken me a while, but I've finally learned how to not trust only myself, but the people that want to help me express my ideas.
Doesn't that feel good?
It feels very good.
I love that. Okay, one more thing, because we really want to get to the live performance that you're doing. What, if anything, has surprised you in this whole process? From jamming in the desert, like you're the fish of Sharon Van Etten world, to writing together, to, that's mean. I didn't mean to be mean about fish.
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, okay.
So I'll take
fair.
it with the F.
All right, love. Okay. So what has surprised you? Because you've gone from this evolution of, hey, we're getting together, I'm putting this band together, surprise, surprise, we're now writing together, we're recording in the round. What surprised you?
All these years I've been intimidated about how much experience I have and what kind of education I have and style and genre. It doesn't really matter.
You're intimidated?
Because I didn't go to school for it, and I'm kind of self-taught, and I'm by feel and by ear, and playing with jazz cats and people that can call out keys and time signatures and switch tempos, and I can anticipate those things and I feel it, but I realize that everyone has a different language, and as soon as you put yourself into a room with anybody, you just find your own common language, and I think you can do that with anyone if you just open yourself up to that collaboration.
Well, clearly, you all have done that together. You all, Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory are going to come up and do a show, but let's give it up for Sharon Van Etten, all right?
Thank you.
I'd like to say this is really a thrill for me and a thrill for us at KCRW because we've been looking forward to Sharon's visit for a really long time, and you are in for a beautiful evening, so enjoy.
Thank you, man.